Dear learners, I am Mrs. R.D. Chavan from A.G. Patil Polytechnic Institute, Solapur. I am going to discuss about earth leakage circuit breaker in this video. After watching this video, the learner will able to understand definition of earth leakage circuit breaker, that is what is mean by earth leakage circuit breaker, working principle and construction of earth leakage circuit breaker, how it looks, how it internally constructed, and on which principle it works. Specifications of earth leakage circuit breaker, that means you need to understand the specification of earth leakage circuit breaker to select or to choose the proper earth leakage circuit breaker for your applications. Now, what is earth leakage circuit breaker? It is basically a safety device, or sometimes it is called as a protective device. It protects the electrical circuit against the leakage current. Its basic work, its basic function is to protect any electrical circuit from the electrical leakage current. Now, what is leakage current? Leakage current is also called as a residual current, or we can say sometimes when insulation failure occurs in electrical equipment or in the whole electrical circuit, or sometimes when the live wire touches to the metal enclosure of the electrical equipment, some amount of current is present on this metal enclosure, or some amount of current starts to leak into the earthing. If such leakage current or if such leakage voltage is go to the dangerous level, it may damage the electrical circuit, and if some human being or animal touch to the electrical equipment metal housing or to the circuit by default, then they can get injury from this such type of leakage voltages or leakage current. So when a earth leakage circuit breaker is present under such a circuit where the leakage current occurs or where the leakage voltage is present on the metal housing of the electrical equipment, then its function is to detect the leakage voltage present on the metal housing of the electrical equipment. If this leakage voltage is more than the fixed value, or we can say if the leakage current or residual current exceeds the fixed value, it immediately detect it and cut off the power supply and trips the circuit within 0.1 second to 0.3 second of time. The time is depend upon the type of or the model of ELCB present in the particular electrical circuit. It is different for different type of models of ELCB. That means it not only protects the electrical circuit from this leakage or from the dangerous level of this leakage current, but also protects the human beings and the animals from such type of leakage current. There are two types of earth leakage circuit breakers. Some are voltage operated earth leakage circuit breakers, which are pronounced basically as earth. That means whenever we pronounce earth leakage circuit breaker, it is actually a voltage operated earth leakage circuit breaker. And there are some current operated circuit breaker which are pronounced as residual current circuit breaker. That means the current operated earth leakage circuit breaker are called as RCCB or RCB. Now it's a time to think where the leakage current of your home electrical circuit will go if earthing is not provided for the electrical equipment or electrical circuit. That means if fault is occur in your home electrical circuit, or the leakage current is occur in your home electrical circuit, where this will go if your house electrical circuit is not properly earthed, or we can say if earthing is not provided to your electrical circuit. So think about this, write the answer of this question in your notebook, or you can guess the answer and keep it in mind. Now pause the video and think about the answer of this question. When you finish to write the answer of this question, again play this video and listen the answer. Now, if there is such an electrical circuit which does not have any earthing, and electrical leakage current is present on the metal housing of the electrical equipment, that means if insulation failure occurs in your home electrical circuit, or sometimes when live wire touches to the uh, metal housing or on the body of or the cover of your electrical equipment, then leakage current or the leakage voltage will be present on the body itself. If there is no earthing, it will not go anywhere, it will itself present on the metal housing of your equipment. And if by default anybody in your house touches to this equipment body, then he or she will get shocked and may get injured because of this leakage current. If the leakage current or leakage voltage level is so high, then it is dangerously injured to the human being in your house. That means earthing is very important in any electrical circuit to give path, to give proper path to this leakage current. In this video, I am going to discuss about current operated earth leakage circuit breaker, which is also called as residual current circuit breaker. Now, this diagram shows you the internal structure or internal components, or how the components are arranged in earth leakage circuit breaker or RCCB to protect the electrical circuit from the residual current. One by one, we will see how the components are arranged, how the components are present in the internal structure of the earth leakage circuit breaker. As we can see in this diagram, you can see there are 3 coils and there is a one magnetic core. A magnetic core is present, that means there is a one magnetic core in the earth leakage circuit breaker or RCCB. There are 3 coils named as primary coil, secondary coil and sensing coil are wound on the magnetic core in the circuit breaker. The sensing coil is also called as the trip coil or relay coil, which is used to sense, or which is provided to sense the leakage current in the circuit breaker. So there are 3 coils in this circuit breaker which are wound on the magnetic circuit or on the magnetic core. As we can see at the right side of this diagram, there is a load present. Load means it may be your electrical home, it may be the electrical circuit of your home, or any type of load. Earthing is also available in this diagram, or earthing is also you can see in this diagram. At the left side there is a supply connected, that means supply is shown in this diagram to the left side. You can also see the test button over there, which you can see at the outside of the earth leakage circuit breaker RCCB. This test button is provided for routine checkup of this earth leakage circuit breaker or RCCB. By pushing this test button, you can check the tripping sensitivity, or you can check the tripping property of RCCB anytime. So this is how the construction of the circuit breaker. Now I would like to talk about the primary coil and secondary coil. See, the primary coil and secondary coil are arranged, are designed, are polarized, are kept in this circuit breaker in such a way that whenever current will flow through both these coils, they will create the same amount of magnetomotive force, but their directions will be opposite. That means primary and secondary coil of RCCB are arranged in such a way that they are polarized in such a way that they will create the magnetomotive force which is equal in magnitude but opposite in polarity. So what will happen if their magnitude is equal in if their magnitude is equal and their polarities are different? Obviously they cancels each other. So a zero magnetomotive force is present in this circuit. So They are arranged in such a way that they are designed to operate in such a way. Now let us see how it works. Whenever you switch on the supply, or whenever we switch on the supply, the current starts flowing through the line here, show here, L line is shown here. Whenever you switch on the supply, the current starts to flow in this circuit breaker, or current enters into this circuit breaker from the L line. It goes to the primary coil, then it goes to the load, then it goes to the secondary coil, and then it goes to the neutral line. Under healthy condition, or under normal operating condition, this current which is entering into the circuit breaker, which is entering into the primary coil, and which is entering into the secondary coil, and which is again leaving the circuit breaker through the neutral line, is same. That means the amount of the current entering through the L line, that is IL, and amount of current leaving through the N line, that is ion, are equal under normal operating condition or under healthy condition. So what happen if IL and ion are equal? As I told you, whenever the current goes through the primary coil, it creates the MMF, and whenever current goes through the secondary coil, equal amount of current whenever it goes through the secondary coil, it also create MMF. Both are equal and both are opposite in direction, so they cancel each other. Sorry. And there is no MMF remains in the circuit, or there is a zero MMF remains in the circuit, and that's why there is no current flowing through the sensing coil or through the relay coil. So relay will not operate under normal operating condition. The circuit is working properly. But whenever the fault occurs, or whenever some amount of current is start to leak because of insulation failure, or because of live wire touched to the metal housing, or whenever the leakage current occurs in the circuit breaker, or whenever the leakage current occurs in the electrical circuit, some amount of current start to leak in the earth. As you can see, the red arrow shown here is the leakage current. Now what happen if some amount of current is leaking? So what happened? Whenever current, that means IL, enters into the circuit, it goes to the primary coil, it goes to the load, and now insulation failure is happen, suppose, in the load. Then some amount of current, instead of the entered current as it is left the load, instead of what happened, some amount of current leaked to the ground, and remaining amount of current goes to the secondary coil and goes to the neutral line. That means under insulation failure condition, or under any faulty condition, what happened, the current entered, that is IL, is not equal to the current written, that is ion. Some amount of current is goes to the earth. That means some amount of leakage current. Because of leakage current under faulty condition, IL is not equal to ion. Now what happen if IL, that is current entered, and current left, is not equal? If they are not equal, the primary coil created MMF and the secondary coil created MMF will also not equal. Obviously they are in opposite direction, but their magnitude will not equal. It might be IL is more than ion, or MMF created by the primary coil is more than MMF created by the secondary coil. So if they are not equal in magnitude, some amount of MMF is present in the magnetic core, and because of this MMF, current starts to flow through the sensing coil or through this trip coil, and relay will be operated. If the amount of current passing through this tripping coil or sensing coil is greater than the fixed or set value of the circuit breaker, or greater than the uh, dangerous, or it is at the dangerous level, then relay trip the circuit breaker, or relay gives a signal to the circuit breaker, and circuit breaker trip the circuit or cut off the power supply, and immediately the power supply is stopped to flow in the circuit breaker, and the circuit is protected from the leakage current. Also the human being and animal are protected from the leakage current. Now specifications. There are so many models available of earth leakage circuit breaker or RCCB in the market. The model are different for different manufacturers. Tripping residual current is generally 30 milliampere. Its rated voltage, that means you can use RCCB between 230 volt to 400 volt. That means though you can use this RCCB for those circuit whose voltage is between 230 volt to 440 volt. Its sensitivity for medium, its medium sensitivity is 100, 300, 500 and 1000 milliampere, and its low sensitivity is 3, 10 and 30 ampere. The low sensitivity RCCBs are used for higher machines. I hope you got the earth leakage circuit breaker. Thank you.